Okay, I'm gonna head out towards Springville. One of the videos I watched on motor vlogging, I better get gas first. One of the videos I watched on motor vlogging was saying that you should come on, speak, Frank. You should always have a story to tell when you're out riding and motor vlogging. Well, I don't have a story to tell. My GoPro is brand new and everything set up on my helmet, including this microphone, is new. And I repositioned the microphone in a different spot because I was getting a lot of wind. And maybe this will work better. Wait your turn, sir. Not even watching what he's doing. And the other thing this video said on motor vlogging is keep talking. And if you've got a lot of dead space, no talking. When you get back home and you're putting this stuff on your video editing software, I think they call that post-production, cut splice the video so that there's constant talking. For some reason, I guess not talking is more boring than talking. Anyway, so I'm gonna get some gas right now, take a ride up to Springville. It's I'm not sure what time it is here. I think it's a little after 3 o'clock. I'm not sure. Nobody's here. Where is everybody? COVID-19. I like this gas cap. My last trip to Texas, I was filling up close to my sister's house and I lost the gas cap. People wearing the masks that don't work. In California, it used to be illegal to wear a mask going into a bank. I guess you can wear masks going into the bank now. Crazy times. My last trip to Texas to my sister's, the stock gas cap that came with this, I guess I left it on top of the gas machine at the station. By the time I got to my sister's, I realized I was driving without a gas cap. I like this one better because it's flushed. Okay, here we go. That idiot is wearing shorts with a motorcycle and tennis shoes. It should be, when riding a motorcycle, they call it all the gear, all the time. The gear that I'm wearing, I mean, I'm wearing these where the fingers are extended, but it still has padding. But my entire jacket has padding in it, and then my pants have knee pads, and then the inside of the pants are actually lined with Kevlar material. And then I'm, of course, wearing my riding boots. All the gear all the time. So I'm thinking about this trip that I'm going to take to Texas. I'm planning to do it in the next 3 weeks, and it will be curious to see what happens when I go between state lines. Apparently, from some of the information that I've read on the internet, at each state line they have places where they stop you, I guess. They want to know if you're doing essential driving. I'm just going to tell them I'm essential, that I'm going to Texas to purchase my home because I'm leaving California. See if they think that's essential or not. This COVID scare, man, I don't get it. We've crippled an entire nation. The government has crippled an entire nation based off fear. I mean, every time an American walks out their front door, every time an American walks out their front door and they're going to go somewhere, they're stepping out into the unknown. They're stepping out into risk. They're putting themselves at risk. That's what freedom is all about, being at risk, to enjoy doing the things that you like doing. I'm looking at the current data by the CDC and the WHO. It still indicates that the death rate for this virus nationwide is 0.02%. And although it's highly, highly infectious, there are more recoveries than there are deaths. Far more recoveries than there are deaths. Come on, who's gonna go? Everybody's running around wearing masks. And for me, I think that's ridiculous because, yeah, if I was sick and hacking and coughing, I would protect other people by covering my mouth. I probably would carry a handkerchief like we did back in the 50s, 60s, and cough, sneeze, whatever, into that handkerchief. Social distancing, the government doesn't have to tell you to social distance. I get uncomfortable anytime somebody gets within 6 feet of me. They didn't have to arbitrarily pick a number and tell everybody to do it, or you're going to be arrested. And then there's individuals out there on the internet, people who I know, I mean, they're good-minded, you know, and they want to do what's right, but sometimes they shame you. They try to shame you into following along with the rest of the sheep. You know, they'll say things like, oh, well, you don't care about other people and you could have the virus, so you're going to end up killing somebody. And that's just darn ridiculous. As long as you're responsible and you're doing your social distancing that you would normally do anyway, and if you're responsible and you stay home when you're sick, then I don't see an issue. Like I said, yes, it's a highly contagious virus. It's not a death sentence. I mean, we had a virus that was a death sentence back in the 60s. It was called HIV. And the guy right now, Fauci, along with Bill Gates, who wants to come out with this vaccination for COVID-19, they didn't do much about HIV back then. I wonder why. Here's an essential business selling all kinds of desserts and fruits and flowers. Another motorcyclist only had on, he had a helmet on, but he was wearing a t-shirt and tennis shoes. I made that mistake once when I was a young kid, but I was heading down the road. It was summer, I had shorts on and I had sandals on and a t-shirt, and I went down, and I was doing about 45 at the time when the bike went down. The only way to describe what I looked like when I got home was, think what it looks like when you take a block of cheese and run it across a grater. The only difference is the cheese doesn't bleed. You got to wear all the gear all the time. One of the things that I noticed about my GoPro before I head out on this trip to Texas is the, I think they're called SD cards. So the SD card I have is, I think, 64 gigabytes. I'm gonna have to get one that's at least, I think they make one for this GoPro that's 256 gigabytes. And I'll probably have to get a couple of those, maybe 3 or 4. One of the things that I did today, because I know I need to check these places before I head out on my trip, is call the different Harley-Davidson dealers. My motorcycle is going to come up for its 25,000 service. Man, the Harley-Davidson here and where I live, it has been shut down for 2 months. I don't know how they're going to be able to reopen and stay in business. They're not selling anything. All the mechanics aren't working either. Place is completely shut down. So I was thinking, when I go to Texas, I'd go to El Paso first, because I probably could do that in one trip without having to stop anywhere. If I do stop, it would be in Phoenix. But I called the Harley-Davidson place there in El Paso, and they are open. So that's good. So by the time I get to El Paso, it may be time for my servicing. And then from El Paso, I'll head over to Plano and Rowlett, Texas, because that would be a one-day trip also. I thought about going from my house straight to Rowlett or Plano, but I did that last year and I had to stop once on the way, and it was a long drive, two long drives with one stop. So I think I'll hit El Paso first, then that way I can stay at my brother's house, and then from there I'll go to Rowlett and Plano. See if my sister lets me in. She said she was going to quarantine me in the garage for 14 days. I believe her. I was thinking with this COVID-19 here in California, they're not letting anybody go to the beaches. That's insane. I don't think people understand that this virus does not do well in humidity, heat, and sunlight. The beach should be the perfect place to go. The other thing too is the sunlight, the microbes that are in the sand, the salty air, all of that contributes towards a good, healthy immune system. So we're forcing everybody to stay away from sunlight, which gives you vitamin D. We're forcing them to stay away from all those great microbes in the beach sand that helps contribute to a healthy immune system, and that great salty water. And then of course if you're in the water or whatever, you're getting exercise. That also helps contribute to a healthy immune system. So we're not letting people exercise, get vitamin D, get the microbes from the beach and the great salty air. But Americans don't understand that. They'd rather huddle in their homes and wait for the virus to go away. And the problem with that is the virus is not going to go away. And everybody who has not gotten the virus because they stayed home and hunkered down, when they do finally come out of hiding and go back to work or go back to whatever they're doing, the virus will be there waiting for them, and they're going to contract the virus. So then what happens? You're going to see a spike in infections again. So everybody's home. You'll see maybe what do they call that? Leveled the curve. And that's funny too, because that leveling of the curve, if you look under that curve, that's everybody that would have got sick anyway. We're just prolonging it. Anyway, everybody will go back out, start doing their thing. The virus will be there, and all those who did not contract the virus will get it. And lo and behold, the government will start round 2 of, we've got to stay home. We've got to fight the virus. It's just going to be a revolving door, a vicious cycle. The other thing too is governors and some police officers have become so draconian and grabbed as much power as they can. You know, they're grabbing an opportunity here. And, you know, I have to stop and think, what is it about these governors? What is it about some of these police officers who just don't understand that the United States Constitution is not a suggestion? Where do they get off thinking they can start writing all these rules and regulations and laws that go against the Constitution? Anybody know which amendment has to do with your right to peacefully assemble? Or the one that says no laws by Congress will be written that infringes on religious freedom? Oh well. Yeah, I guess my vlogging story for today is going to be COVID-19. Okay, this is Strathmore. It's in between the city of Lindsay and Porterville. It's a little bit on the warm side today. The other day when I went to the gun range, the sun was out, but It was cool. Today it's a little bit warm. Well, here's Springville. Came through here last week. This time I'm going to take the ride up just a little bit farther to the mountains and then turn around and go back home. Population is 1,109. Hope the gas station's open. I think it is. Okay. Did a little resting here at the park. So this is what it looks like downtown Springville. Okay, gonna head up the mountainside just a little bit and then go home. young kid walking with no t-shirt on. I remember when I used to do that. My God, if I did it today, police had pulled me over and cited me for indecent exposure. Home sweet home, there it is. Let's see if I can coast all the way in. There's my little red truck. My ex-son-in-law borrowed it today. Something about picking up bunk beds for his kids. Oh, finally home. So here's my garage. Reloading equipment. I have 2 presses, gunpowder. Here's my scale, my primers. Here's all my reloading tubes and powder drops and all my dies. So this is what my garage looks like. Soon to be somebody else's garage since I'm planning to move. Okay, that's it. Turn this puppy off.